Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in this video we are going to learn how to create Mailmodo contacts on Elementor form submission. So here I've created a form using Elementor, and in this case I want whenever a new form submission is made, automatically using that details, a new contact should be created in my Mailmodo account. So to automate this process, we will use an automation software named as Pabbly Connect, in which we need to connect a trigger and an action. So in this process, our trigger application will be Elementor and our action application will be Mailmodo. So to learn this process step by step, let me take you to my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video, we are going to learn how to create a new Mailmodo contact on Elementor form submission. So here in this case, I want whenever a new form submission is made in my Elementor form, automatically using that details, a new contact should be created in my Mailmodo account. So to automate this process, we will use an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. This is the homepage of Pabbly Connect. You can visit this page by simply browsing for the URL pabbly.com/connect. Here you can see two options that are sign in and sign up free. If you're a new user, click on sign up free and get free 100 tasks every month to explore the software. And if you're an existing user, click on sign in. Here I'm an existing user, so I'm clicking on sign in. After signing in, you can see all Pabbly apps window where you can see all the applications of Pabbly. Here to integrate my applications, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. Now this is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here you can see a create workflow button on the top right corner. So here to create a new workflow, I'm going to click on this button. Now here in this create workflow dialog box, we have to give a name to our workflow. So here I'm going to give the name as create Mailmodo contacts on Elementor form submission. And now I'm going to select my folder as automations. You can select your folder as per your need. Also you can create multiple folders to save your workflows accordingly. And now to create a new workflow, I'm going to click on this create button. Now here in this workflow window, you can see we have successfully created a workflow with the name Create Mailmodo Contacts on Elementor Form Submission. And here you can see two most important principles of an automation process, that are trigger and action. Where trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means action is a response towards a trigger. Your automation can have a single trigger but multiple action steps. Now let's begin with our automation by simply setting up a trigger. So here I'm going to select my trigger application as Elementor and my trigger event as new form submission. And here you can see we have received a webhook URL. That means we will use this webhook URL to build a connection between our Elementor and Pabbly Connect. So here, following the instructions given below, as you all know that Elementor is a plugin of WordPress. So let me take you to the form which I have created using Elementor. So here to connect my form with Pabbly Connect, I'm going to click on this edit with Elementor. And here under edit form, I'm going to click on actions after submit. And from here, I'm going to select the add action, which is webhook. And now after adding the action, here I'm going to click on this webhook, and here you can see we have received a field to enter the webhook URL. So for that, let me take you back to Pabbly Connect. Here I'm going to copy this webhook URL. Moving back to edit form, here I'm going to enter the webhook URL. Now after entering the webhook URL, here I'm going to click on this update button. And here you can see we have successfully updated the form, and now I'm going to click on this preview. So now let me take you back to Pabbly window. And here you can see as it is waiting for webhook response. That means here to receive a webhook response, we need to do a test submission. And to do a test submission, we need to submit a response in our Elementor form. So for that, let me take you back to my Elementor form. Here I'm going to enter a dummy data and do a test submission. So for the first name, here I'm going to enter the name as dummy123, last name as user, email as dummy123@pabblytools.com, a random phone number. And now I'm going to click on the submit. And here you can see it says your submission was successful. So now let's go and check our Pabbly window. And here you can see we have successfully received a response where we have received the form name, form ID, mobile number, last name, first name, and email address. So with this, we have successfully set up our trigger. Now let's move to action step. Here I'm going to select my action application as Mailmodo and my action event as add contact to list. And now to connect my Mailmodo with Pabbly Connect, here I'm going to click on this connect. Here to build a new connection, I'm going to select add new connection. If your Mailmodo account is already connected with Pabbly Connect, then you can click on select existing connection. And now here to build a new connection, here it is asking me to give a name to my connection. So here I'm going to give the name as Elementor. And then it is asking for API key. So here, following the instructions given below, here I have already logged in my Mailmodo account. From here I'm going to click on this settings, and under settings I'm going to select API keys. Here to generate a new API key, I'm going to click on this add API key button, and here I'm going to give a name to my API key, that is Elementor. And now I'm going to click on this OK. And here you can see we have successfully created a new API key. So here I'm going to click on the show API key, and here I'm going to copy this API key. Moving back to Pabbly window, here I'm going to enter the API key. Now after entering all the details, I'm going to click on this save. And here you can see we are successfully connected. So now moving forward, and now it is asking me for email. So here, instead of entering the data manually, here I will map the data. Mapping data means insert data from previous step. That means here we will map the data from the response we have received in our Elementor. Mapping makes our text dynamic so that whenever a new form submission is made in our Elementor form, automatically this previously existing details will be updated with the new one. So here I'm going to map the email. Moving forward, and here it is asking me to give the list name. So for that, let me take you to my Mailmodo account. And here you can see I have created 3 different lists. So for this case, I'm going to use the list which is named as new contacts. So moving back to Pabbly window, here I'm going to enter the list name as new contacts. Now after entering the list name, moving forward, here it is asking me to give the personalization fields. Here I'm going to enter the personalization fields by following this format. So my first field will be first name, and here I'm going to map the value for the first name, comma. My second field will be last name. Here I'm going to map the last name value, comma. And my last personalization field will be phone number. And here I'm going to map the phone number. So here, after entering all the details, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And here you can see we have received a successful response where the message is contact is successfully created and added to the list. So now let's go and check our Mailmodo account. Here I'm going to click on all contacts, and now I'm going to refresh this window. And here you can see we have successfully created a new contact with the email address as dummy123@pabblytunes.com, first name as dummy123, last name as user, and a random phone number. So with this, we have successfully set up our automation. Now let's test our automation to check whether it is working or not. So to test our automation, we need to submit a new response in our Elementor form, and for that, let me take you back to my Elementor form. So here I'm going to enter a dummy data and do a test submission. So for the first name, here I'm going to enter the name as test123, last name as user, email as test123@pabblytunes.com, a random phone number, and now I'm going to click on the send. And here you can see it says your submission was successful. So now let's go and check our Mailmodo account. Back to all contacts. Here I'm going to refresh this window. And here you can see we have successfully created a new contact with the email address as test123@pabblytunes.com, first name as test123, last name as user, and a random phone number. So with this, we have successfully tested our automation. Now let me summarize this whole video for you. So here we have taken a trigger as Elementor and an action as Mailmodo, so that whenever a new form submission is made in our Elementor form, automatically using that details, a new contact will be created in our Mailmodo account. If you want to use the same workflow, then you can find the clone link in the description box below. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Not only these applications, you can integrate many other applications with Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubt, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any query, you can contact us on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, then you can contact us on www.pabbly.com. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends.